And what difference does it make in terms of, I've heard people say that some of the kind of more holistic approaches can help with things like cancer, can help with healing, it can help with stuff relating to the immune system and stuff like that. And that some people's claims are scarily out there. I wonder where you're at in terms of, well, what effect can this have?
I think it definitely promotes healing. Like, there's no denying that. Like, I can't deny that because of my own experience. Like, regardless if I had this experience one-on-one with cancer patients, that like I couldn't see what the experience would be. I just know how they feel when they come in, how they feel when they leave, and what they tell me. I don't know what's going on a cellular level for them, but for me, it was profound. Like, I can't sing and dance about it enough, just because. And I've never felt like I wanted to. I loved all of my jobs, but it wasn't a love like this. Like, there's not a day I'm in this room where I don't want to be here. Like, everything about it makes us want to stay. I'm at a point where I always looked for the next thing. Since I found sound, I don't look for anything anymore. I just know this is home to me. Like, this is where it's at.
Nice.
And I just think it's like, it definitely reduces anxiety, helps with depression. I mean, some of these frequencies are serotonin enhancing, cortisol lowering. So to have, there's something going on there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't deny that either. Um, it's been proven. There's been studies where it's lowered blood pressure and heart rate and things like that. And if your body's in a theta brain state and it's out of that active brain state and it's dropped down into a state of relaxation, you heal when you sleep. So if you're in that deeply relaxed state, there's healing going on there anyway. There's no denying that.
So you've said there's no denying that a few times, and yeah, I've got my little cynical head every so often that'll kind of go, yeah, well, so what would you say to a cynic in terms of convince me, and not in a kind of like, come on, bring it on kind of way, but like, how would you convince a cynic to believe in this a little bit more?
Experience it. It's not something you can put. So everyone says, like, they come in and look at the room and they're like, wow, 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 this is amazing. Wow, what does it do? And I can see you lie there and get bathed in frequencies and vibrations and makes you feel good. But no, I don't think anyone expects what the, like, I don't think when they walk in and they look around, I think they just think it's a pretty magical room. Let's lie on the bed and let this woo woo lady do all these woo woo things. But I don't think they realize what it's going to do for them. And it's what you see daily. Like, I can't convince you. You have to feel it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can say it. And when these people get off the bed, they're like, I don't know what happened there. Some of them go to different countries. Some of them go back to childhood. It takes them different places in the mind for different reasons. I mean, don't get us wrong, women in particular, women are control freaks because we'll have children and we'll have 1,000 men or can switch off like that. Whereas women, I think, are, because of the house and the kids, they're a lot more controlling and analytical. And so women will come in and I'm like, right, try not to control this. Just let the sound come in and out and notice it with a gentle curiosity and let it do what it does. Don't try not to pay it any attention, because women are like, oh, what's that sound? Oh, how's she doing that? Oh, what's that? And I think the first time they come, some of them do have that experience. And then once they've fully, like, surrender to the sound and let it happen, they're like, oh my God, what happened there? And it's something you have to experience. It's not something I can go, oh, this makes this noise, that makes that noise, but until you feel it, it's empty words, isn't it?
I've picked up on one of the words, which is surrender, and I love that word, probably because it feels so far away from my experience a lot of the time, because control, I am the person who's so desperate for something to work that, or desperate for some evidence, that I'm like, I overthink it, overanalyze it. And it's like dissecting a butterfly. You don't understand the butterfly any better, but the butterfly's dead. It's like, that's what I do. Not literally. So how do you surrender?
Just let go, just come out of the mind and drop into the body, whether it's by following the breath, whether it's just a conscious letting go of attachment, of this, of that, just dropping out of the mind and into the body. And I normally, before the sound, I'll do a small meditation, like a somatic meditation, and just say, like, get them to completely feel into the body and take them out of the mind for a moment so they have glimpses of that. And I think I've got ADHD, in case you haven't noticed.
Fabulous.
I've got ADHD, so again, I've done Buddhist meditation for years. Love the Buddhist temple is something I particularly love. But again, when I was in there, I wouldn't say I fully let go, because I've got that analytical mind, and because I was sitting up, I was like, oh, I need to fidget. I don't know. I was just, but sound, because it's noisy, it's easier to drop into the body, because your mind can't think, because there's too many sounds coming in and out to allow the thoughts to. That's my experience of it anyway, because it's like a noisy meditation. So because all the sounds are coming at you and you don't know where they're coming from, and they're moving around you, your ears are listening to that, but you're following the breath into the body, and it's just, I don't know, that's the only, I find noise much more meditative than stillness.
Yes, that makes sense. So I quite like mindful movement for a similar reason.
Yeah.
And I was a practicing Buddhist for a long time. Where did you practice?
At Heaven, at the Dynamic, I just still don't know how to say the temple's name. I actually do run sound bath there now, funnily enough.
Oh, nice.
I do a monthly sound bath there, on a Sunday once a month, and it's a Dynamic. How do you say it?
I'm not sure. Don't know them.
Diam. Don't know.
I used to practice with Triratna, who used to be the Friends of the Western Buddhist Order. I used to practice with them for a number of years. And
Um, these are the guys. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, it's not loading for some reason. Diamond, I don't know. It's like they've got a trail of temples up and down the country, and in Thailand and stuff. But they're really lovely guys. Like,
nice.
how do you say that? Can you read that?
Oh, Dharmakaya. Kaya.
Something like that. So yeah,
Mm.
it's in Heaven, and it's an absolute beautiful temple. So they bought an old church,
Oh, nice.
um, and they've done it out, and it's absolutely. If you scroll further down my Facebook, you might be able to see the church.
Oh, have a look.
But they've painted all the ceiling with gold. They've like restored this old church basically, and it's absolutely beautiful. They've spent fortunes on it. And then they have like a little meditation hall with a big, thick, cream fluffy carpet and a big gold Buddha, and that's where I do my sound baths, because in the Buddhist religion, I wanted to initially do it in the church, but their religion, you're not allowed to lie down in the place of worship.
Ah,
So I would have to do a sit and sound bath, which a lot of my clients come to lie down. So I opted for the meditation hall, because that can be used for various things, so they can lie down in there. And it's equally as beautiful, but in a different way. It's got such a lovely vibe about it.
oh,
And I
nice.
just think that's where it all started for me with the meditation and stuff. And that's why I wanted to go back there. I don't know, I was very drawn to do a sound bath there.
Nice. Nice. So you've dabbled in lots of different things, sounds like.
Yeah.
So what was your first what was your gateway drug to hippie shit? What was the first thing you did?
I'm trying to think. Not sound, it definitely wasn't sound. Well, I'd done reflexology
Okay.
years ago. God, when I was God, 20 years ago now. I'd done reflexology, and a lot of people used to poo that and be like, oh no. And then from the reflexology, I met a lot of Reiki practitioners and things like that. And I went to my Reiki level 1, and I had a few Reiki friends. So it was probably Reiki was more the
Oh,
hippie shit that I did first.
so Reiki's one that I can't get away with. I've had Reiki now from 4 or 5 different people, and it's not done any harm. I've found it pleasant enough. It's always, I always think, well, it's nice to sit there and have someone thinking nice thoughts towards you, but that's about as far as it's gone.
Not
I've
feel
never,
anything.
I don't think so, no. And again, I don't know if I'm trying too hard or not trying hard enough or what, whether, can you actively let go? I don't know, but it's not worked so far. I'm open to the possibility that one day it will, but not yet anyway.
See, now the cancer patients absolutely rave about it.
Oh, really?
Really, like in here, I don't know if it's because we've got good practitioners or we have got amazing practitioners, but they're absolutely rave about it. Like some of them come out crying, some of them see relatives, some of them have really profound experiences in Reiki, which I haven't had that, seen anyone from another realm or anyone that's deceased experience, but they do. And a lot of them going very skeptical. And same with like past life regression. That was a funny one because I had a friend called Rick who was going through a bit of a bad time at the time. And I was like, oh, I want to go and try this past life regression. And he was like, oh, I'll come with you. I'll come with you. And he was like, I don't believe in any of it. Like, and he went, but I just want to come. And I went, all right, I'll ring on. Can you fit him in? Yeah, yeah. So he come along, and I was going into it absolutely open to it all. I'll try anything. Like, I just want to see what this is about. I had heard some fascinating things about it. I'd say, yeah, I did believe in it, but I still needed to experience it to fully believe in it. Like I needed something to happen to me for me to be like, yeah, that's a thing. Um, and he went in like totally skeptical, didn't believe in any of it. I had no experience whatsoever. I went back to the womb. I didn't go to any past lives. I mean, I could see myself in the womb. Don't know why that was. Only ever went back to the womb. And he went on this absolutely phenomenal journey, seen his daughter in another life. Uh, he was at a train station getting a train to Germany in whatever this year was. I can't remember the exact date. He was standing on a platform, ready to go and fight in a war. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, come out of it. We'll check the dates and the train stations and everything. There was actually a war and soldiers travelled at that time. And I was like, no way. How did you come? And you didn't even believe in it. And you've just gotten all of that. And I went to the womb. Like I was absolutely furious. And he's like really open to it all now because he had that experience. He said, Danielle, I'm blown away.
Wow. So why do you think people are skeptical and cynical? What's the point in that, do you think?
I just think it's unknown. I just think everyone likes to live this comfortable life where everything's familiar, and it's better to be in uncomfortable comfort and familiarity than the unknown discomfort for like long-term comfort. You know what I mean? I think they don't want to experience that discomfort. And the same with like your shadow work and all of that stuff. Like you have to go through a dark night of the soul to come out the other end and have the lasting effects from it, and the good stuff. Like it's never easy. The work is always ongoing. And I think once you choose, and I think that's another thing, like some people get into this, like I've had a few people come to sound baths and went, oh no, I felt so anxious after it, like I'm never doing that again. Um, and that's fine. That's what, and for them, there was clearly stuff that needed to come up. And I mean, not many. There's been one or two, but it has happened. And I think because it's elicited those negative emotions, we're brought up in a society where everything's like, oh, you only need the nice things and like all these happy, positive. No, it's not. It's not about that. Like you have to. If I hadn't have been through what I've been through, I wouldn't be who I am, and I've had to be dragged through the dirt. And everything that I thought about myself, challenged and dug up and threw around and chucked back at us, and denied it and resisted it, and then pushed back, and it's pushed back harder. And it's never an easy path when you choose to do any of this work. I don't think. I think probably the hardest thing I've done in my life, and I've had some challenges.